Great job on the values, and I hope you made that list. It's really important. What you need to do is refine and refine and refine, and then ultimately come up with that list of core values that move you. Also, the ends and means values, as we discussed in that program, understanding to get down below that surface value of what you think it might be and what's really driving the boat, right? And the towards and away values are going to come into this next lesson as we talk about goals. We're going to talk about SMART goals and SMART goal creation. And that doesn't mean just, are you smart when you set a goal? It's an acronym, and this is what it looks like. So we want to first off talk about SMART goals are simple and specific, thus the S. The M is for meaningful and measurable. The A is for achievable, and I like to add as if now. So in other words, when you're making a goal and you're going to start using some of the other modules that you're going to learn in this program, like the auto-suggestion, the self-hypnosis, all of your language wants to be in the form of as if now when you're setting that goal. And then with the R, you have realistic, and I like to also add responsible and ecological. That's just literally being responsible. The T stands for time specific, so your goal needs to be timed. And also, this is where it needs to be a towards goal versus an away from goal. So, SMART goals. Specific and simple, meaningful to you and measurable, achievable as if now, realistic and responsible, timed specific, and towards versus away from goal. So what's that look like? Well, you might say, I need to stop smoking. I need to stop smoking. I need to stop smoking. That's kind of an away from goal. Maybe better to say something like, when I get the urge to smoke, I understand that that's not really good for me, and what I do instead is blank. And then you put a positive, powerful objective, something that would draw you towards that outcome, and reaching that outcome would then eliminate the actual smoking habit. Does that make sense? You want it to be towards an objective. Just like many people get into goals when they start thinking about, I must lose weight, I need to lose this weight, I need to lose this weight. Maybe better to state, I focus on my fitness and health because it makes me feel vibrant, I am more healthy, I have more energy for my family and for my kids and my loved ones, and I feel overall great when I focus in this way. Because once we get to the conditioning aspect and the reps, as I was talking about in the program before, that's where you're going to start to implement daily activities that are going to slowly over time change the habits that you've fallen into. But these habit changes are going to be in the towards direction of the new objective. So as you're specifying your goals, as you're setting a timeline for your goals, you're going to make the goal measurable. You need to address for sure, is it achievable? It needs to be realistic for you. Some of us, myself included, I have a tendency to do this. I think pretty much I could do anything, right? So when I set these goals, sometimes I'm a little unrealistic in my approach, and I have to literally just take a step back. You know, we're only human. We can do the best we can. Yes, you want to set the goal so that it stretches you and it's challenging, but it needs to be realistic. And realistic to who? Does that mean it needs to be realistic to your family, that you might be saying, I'm going to do this thing now, and they're like, oh, I don't think that can happen? No, it needs to be realistic to you. And check yourself, be honest with yourself and say, is this realistic? Can I do it? Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna step back then and start to put pieces in place, and you're gonna find out really quickly if that's a realistic goal for you or not, based on the activities and the things that you're gonna need to do to accomplish it. And then T, right? Timed, specific, towards. So, SMART goals, really cool acronym, a real good way to set up the beginning of goal attainment. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into a talk about very specific elements now of activities towards this new objective. And that's where we're gonna start getting into that step where we talked about belief, right? Capabilities, strategy and planning. We're in that space right now as we're gonna discuss and lay out some specific goals. Then it goes into reps and conditioning right before we start achieving those results. And so now we're moving into that stage. We're gonna finish our strategy planning with our goals. That's gonna be the next video. And then after that, we're gonna talk about daily activities and things that we can do daily, repetitiously, to recondition our neurology, to recondition our internal talk and dialogue, and empower us towards this new you, this new objective that you have for your targeted goal mastery.